anger towards the past you carry in your heart, the less capable you are of loving in the present. Welcome back. We are on week 3 of the Back to Love Challenge, and I am so incredibly humbled by this experience so far. It's been a wild ride. It's been very interesting to see how women show up through this experience, and of course it's been amazing to hold space in this way yet again. I just love it. It's so incredibly fun and fulfilling, and I'm shocked that we're already on week 3, which means that we're already halfway through the challenge already. What in the heck? Time is just speeding by. Hello, everybody. Hello, Kim. Welcome for joining. I'm so glad you were able to join me this afternoon. How was your day off yesterday? I hope you enjoyed yourself. It was a nice sunny afternoon, which turned into snow. Surprise, surprise. Hey, everyone who's joining me on Instagram and everyone who's joining me on Facebook, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here for week 3 of the Back to Love Challenge. So like I said, just a second ago, we're already halfway through the challenge, which means that we have today's training workshop and then 2 other workshops that I'm going to be instructing in the weeks ahead. And for those of you who might be new to these workshops, just to let you know, I'm doing a workshop here on my Facebook page and on Instagram as well. Yes, week 3. Hello. So I'm doing a live workshop here on Facebook and Instagram. And then following this workshop, I actually go on over to the Back to Love Challenge Facebook group, which you need to be signed up for the Back to Love Challenge for in order to get inside there. And I do a exclusive VIP one-on-one Q&A session for any of the members of the challenge to ask me questions to go deeper in on the topic of the week. So for this week, we are talking all things making peace. Because this week we're going to be talking about making peace with your past so you can create more space, more room for love, okay? And if you are new to hanging out with me, let me introduce myself. I'm Sarah Pettis. I am a body positive intuitive eating coach, and I'm also the founder of turnuplove.ca, and I'm also the facilitator of this Back to Love Challenge. And I help serial dieters to get rid of like the self-critical body talk, obsessive calorie tracking, feeling guilty around food, and exercising for punishment, and really teach them how to trust food and their bodies again by using the power of self-love. Oh, thanks for the compliment, Kim. Thanks for the compliment. Oh, this necklace? Yeah, this is from one of my besties in California. It was a Christmas gift she gave me a couple of years ago. Thank you. And this week, so that's who I am. And this week we're actually getting into week 3, like I said, making peace with your past. Now, before I actually dive into today's topic, I wanted to thank all of you that have been following along with the challenge. So a couple of you are excited to be here today to get into this new topic. And I wanted to thank you for following along and showing up to do the freaking work. I'm so incredibly proud of you guys. It's been like so incredibly humbling and liberating to watch you guys through this experience. So last week inside of the Back to Love Challenge, I actually asked the girls to write love letters to their bodies. Most of the time when they're writing these love letters, they usually come out as an apology, because most of the time we do have a lot of apologizing to do and to make towards our body before we can start accepting and loving her. So I think that is an absolute amazing place to start. So if that's where you started with the love letter, you're starting so in the right way. And I was so incredibly lit up by reading this. And this is why I can continue to show up and do this work in this way, because when you guys show up, I can show up even deeper. So I appreciate you. I see you. I respect you, and I'm proud of you. And I just wanted to acknowledge that before we moved into yet another week, because this week we're going deep. We're talking all things forgiveness. We're talking about making peace with the past. So it's heavy stuff, but you're here and you're showing up, and for that you need to be celebrated, because it's not easy. It's so much easier to just carry on with your life and to just do what you've always done. But when you shift those gears and you just show up to do these workbooks and these trainings, these workshops, you're asking questions, you're connecting in the Facebook group, the Bachelor of Challenge Facebook group, you're interacting with your soul sisters, that is where the change happens. But you have to be the one to show up to do the work. So if you've been doing that, bravo. I'm so incredibly proud of you. I also want to know, like, if you have been showing up to do the challenge, what have you been thinking of these exercises so far, especially the love letter exercise? I find that that one is by far one of my favorites. It's something that I do quite regularly with myself, especially when I'm beating myself up and I find like these negative, self-critical, talking crap words kind of come out of me. I'm like, who is this person? Like, where did these thoughts come from? I find that that's so incredibly important for me to spend the time connecting and communicating with my body. And I love to do it through writing. It's almost like spirit comes through me and she's just kind of like, no, like, you're good, you're safe, like, you have so much to be grateful for, like, you're at home with your body. You guys are one. You're a union. Like, it's just incredible the stuff that comes out on this paper. Half the time I'm sitting there reading it and being like, who on earth wrote this? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever done that, where you've done like some deep journal work or you've done some exercises or some trainings and you're like writing things out and you're just like, who wrote this? I feel like that a lot. Actually, when I do workshops and stuff in this way, I sometimes will have to go back and re-listen and edit, and I'm just like, who is that speaking? Like, who is that person? So it's amazing what comes out of us when we really hold space to do so. It's incredible. So just reading the comments here. So Kim says, it was very reflective and empowering doing the letter exercise. Yeah. And hard to start. Yeah, exactly. It is hard to start. And that's exactly why I wanted to make sure that you guys were acknowledged today, because it's tricky, but when you do it, you always feel so good after, right? So if you haven't already done this exercise and you want to dive deep and you want to get inside the challenge and explore these workbooks and connect with other women who are going through this as well, like I said, we're moving into week 3, so we're about halfway there, but you can still sign up if you want to take advantage of the tools and the resources. All you have to do is head on over to the link that I've included above in the caption, or if you're on Instagram, you can definitely check that out as well by hitting the link in my bio and joining the challenge there, and I and the other girls will get you caught up to speed. Okay, so let's talk about today's topic. What we're actually chatting about today, like I said, is basically how to make peace with your past. So today we're going to be talking about why you absolutely cannot allow your past to dictate your future any longer. And this is so incredibly important if you are looking to cultivate that loving, kind, and accepting relationship with yourself, okay? Because there's something very specific that happens when we cling to the past, and that's something that I want to help guide you towards working through, all right? And I also want to chat about how taking back your power, and how when you do take back your power and you go back to the present moment, how this can actually really help you to learn healthier ways to cope with life versus feeling like you're carrying around this burden with you at all times. Because the truth of the matter is we've all gone through crap in our lives. Some of us, unfortunately, have gone through things that are worse than others, but I truly do believe that whatever you have gone through is shaping you for the person that you need to be. And it can really be a whole different experience if you change your mindset around it and you are the one that says, you know what, I'm not going to let this dictate my future. So we're talking all the things today with making peace, okay, you guys? But before we do that, I just want to ask you guys one quick favor. If this is something that you think someone in your life could benefit from, whether that be a friend or a family member, a coworker, anyone in your life that you think could benefit from this topic. If you know someone that's been struggling with self-esteem, if you know someone that's been caught up in the mud of diets, if you know someone who could really use this gentle approach towards self-love, please share this message out because I can't reach people unless You guys help me to reach people. So we're in this together. So if you feel like this would be beneficial, I'd appreciate you sharing it with anyone that you think would benefit. Okay. And again, if you haven't signed up for the Back to Love Challenge, it's not so late to do so. You just got to click the link in the Instagram bio or the link up above on Facebook, and you can join there as well. And like I said, I'll be jumping into the group, the Back to Love Challenge group, right after this to answer some questions. So make sure to sign up now and get your applications in, so that way I can approve those before I head on over there. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic, shall we? Because I got a lot to say. So I sent out an email for the Back to Love Challenge on Monday. And on Monday, I was chatting a little bit about what it really means to transform and go deep with yourself. And I said something along the lines of, as great it is to lay in Shavasana. And if you don't know what Shavasana is, it's a yoga pose. It's like corpse pose, where you're laying on the ground with your hands wide open to the ceiling, and you're really open to receiving anything. It's the state in which you relax, so that way when you move into your next yoga pose or flow, you've preserved that energy. I've had a lot of women ask me what Shavasana is, so I thought I should just clarify. So as great as it is to lay in Shavasana or romance yourself with some flowers or soak in the tub at the end of a long day, like I've been doing a lot of lately, as great as these things are, these acts of self-care and kindness, in order for us to actually transform, we've got to go deeper than that. Okay. And I know that in this realm of self-love, so often we hear like all these self-care practices that we should be doing, which are amazing, and I stand behind them wholeheartedly. So now that everyone can hear me and now everyone can see me, we're not having any more tech glitches, why don't I start off today's workshop by asking you guys have you guys ever had something or a situation that occurred in the past where you felt held back from accomplishing things in the future, where you almost just kind of felt like paralyzed and you were like, I can't move forward because of this, or this happened so I'll never be this, or this person thinks this of me so I can't do this. Has there ever been a situation where you've let someone or something hold you back from something in your future? Or has something happened that has held you back from achieving something in your future? If so, what has held you back, or what is currently holding you back? Yeah, sorry about those tech delays, Kim. I'm so sorry. It was lagging. Yeah. You guys let me know if you've experienced that, okay? And while you guys sort of explain either your current situation or a past situation, I'm going to start off by sharing a little bit of a story. So ever since I started Turn Up the Love, I've been, I would say, pretty raw, open, vulnerable about my past experiences and what I've sort of gone through and what led me to showing up and teaching and holding space and guiding women in this way to do this work. And as most of you guys know, I've had my fair share of struggling with body image. I've gone through extreme dieting and restriction for almost my entire life. I was always on a diet of some sort. And it was only after I did some incredible life-altering and changing backpacking across Australia that I really began to come into this place of freedom and love and acceptance and let all of this crap go. But it really took like completely pulling myself out of my current reality and leaving everything that I knew and every comfort that I knew and going somewhere completely different in order for me to see things differently. And although it took those extreme physical actions of me actually leaving the country and going to literally the other side of the world, that doesn't mean that's what you have to do, because I'm here to help you and support you through that. But I did struggle for a large majority of my life with the body image stuff, the extreme dieting, the restriction, and the punishment, the constant punishment, right? And before I was really able to, really leverage this extreme positive experience by using Turn Up the Love as my outlet, I really did let people's unkind comments be the only thing that I heard. It's like my head would just repeat past things that other people had said about me over and over and over and over on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. It's like that's like the movie that kept playing in my head. I really defined so much of my past with my future. I was letting it dictate my future and letting it get in the way of what it is that I wanted for myself and the life that I wanted to create. Every single opportunity that I was in, or any single opportunity that would come up, I would just go back to immediately thinking of all the times that I had failed, or all the times that people had said awful things about me, and I was paralyzed in fear and did not want to take action. So whether that was, and to give you guys some examples, falling in love, or, going out on a date, or trying to be with someone new and allowing a new relationship to come into my life, or whether it was me pursuing weight loss, or was me pursuing bettering my body and eating well for my body. I would hold on to past things that people had said. Or it was starting my business, because that was a really bold move that I had to take too, leaving corporate world, leaving the diet industry, working as a health coach with a cushiony salary job, and then completely just leaving the industry completely and doing the complete opposite of what it was that I was teaching in corporate. So all of those times I had all these terrible, crazy thoughts that would come up and hold me back and paralyze me in the past. Okay, so we got some people saying, we got some comments coming in. Fear is my current holdback, completely, absolutely. And really, there really are only two things. When it comes down to it, there's only really two ways to behave and show up in the world. And those two ways are fear and love. And that is it. When you break it all down, it always just comes down to those two things. Fear and love, right? So if you are not choosing love, you are then choosing fear. And that paralyzes so many of us. So you're absolutely not alone if you've been living in that reality. So yeah, I was fixating on all these incredibly embarrassing or horrific moments from my past until I had to really learn how to show up and shift my mindset and thoroughly talk myself out of it. But this was like a daily practice that I had to show up for. And it's something that I still continuously show up for, because if I don't, then I allow my inner critic to win. And she really does like to pop up at times and show face and say her opinion, let me tell you. It's just way less that I'm noticing it versus my past, where I noticed it all the time. And I always call her my inner skinny bee. So I feel like we should all basically name her or him and really give them a name, so that way we can identify that that's not who you are. That's just that presence coming through. So I name it my inner skinny bee, because a lot of it was her telling me that I needed to be skinny and I needed to look better. I needed to do this. I needed to do that to be accepted and loved, which was just total nonsense. And I didn't need any of those friggin' things. So I call her my inner skinny bee. But that inner little skinny bee, she made me miss out on so many incredible opportunities, like going to my girlfriend's pool party. It was a birthday party she held, and I didn't go because I was so embarrassed of how I would look in a bathing suit. Or applying for specific roles in school plays because I thought that the drama theater, or I didn't think, but my friends thought that the drama theater was nerdy and that only losers were in drama and that in the plays. And I was so embarrassed that I didn't want to do it, because I was like, well, I don't want my friends to think I'm a loser, so I'm not going to go do that, even though I love musical theater and singing and performing. Or it was me going on dates with crushes of mine. I would say, no, I don't really have that body type yet that I want, and I'm not really worthy of this type of love yet, so I'm just going to decline, right? So many times I've had situations, and I'm sure that you guys have as well, and if you have, then let me know if you feel me, but times where my past was completely grabbing a hold of me and dictating the life that I wanted to live in the present or in my future. So have any of you guys experienced anything like this before? Are you feeling me here, or are you guys super groovy and you don't deal with this at all? Because for me, it was extremely paralyzing. And I think that's the best way to describe it, is paralyzing. Thanks for the hearts. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys, this resonates with you. Because it's challenging, right? It can be extremely challenging. Missing out on pool parties yourself. Oh, living in England. Missing out on pool parties from living in England. That's so funny. Well then, dude, you gotta move. You gotta move, because life is too damn short. So that's really the first thing that I wanted to chat about in today's workshop, is I wanted to chat about your past and not letting it dictate your future. Because here's the thing. I used to lack a lot of love in my life, mostly because I was only going off of what others were saying about me or what others expected of me. And we talked a lot about this in week 1 of the Back to Love Challenge, of how to let go of the expectations, whether they are physical body trait expectations that you're holding on to, or their personality trait expectations. Because that is the first step. You have to absolutely let go of those expectations in order to really heal, right? And if I could really go back and talk to the younger version of myself, I would totally say, like, it doesn't matter what mistakes you've made, your failures, what people have said, or whatever has happened. You are still damn well deserving of great things. If I could go back and tell that younger version of myself, I absolutely would. And I think that's why I show up to do this work, because I don't want women to live in that paralyzing fear that I lived in. So I try to encourage them best that I can to prevent them from wasting their lives away, because we have freaking work to do. Like, there's way more important things in this world that we have to do, and we got to get out of our own heads, right? So when I really realized that my past was really dragging me down, I knew that I had to be the one to take the power away from it. And that's the thing. That's like the first step here. If you really want to make peace with your past, you have to stand up and you have to say, there's a problem here. I can't play this victim role anymore. I have to step into my power. I have to be the one to step into my power. Because the truth is as long as you play that victim role and you're always pointing the finger at everyone else and you're saying, well, this person did to me and this person hurt me and I'm screwed because of this and I didn't get this, as long as you play that victim role, you're just going to continue to repeat these situations over and over and over and over and over again. You'll never be free from that, right? And here's the thing, just because you're dealt a shitty deck of cards, that doesn't mean that you have to continue to play shitty, right? I was dealt a shitty deck of cards from the day that I was born. I was born into a broken home. My parents had separated before my mom had even given birth. And I could have, played the victim role my whole life using that, but I just didn't want to anymore. I didn't want to hold on to it because I knew that it wasn't serving me. So that's really the first step, is really stepping into your power by acknowledging that, yeah, that's your past, but that doesn't mean that you're going to have a shit future, right? Because you need to make the most of what it is that you've got. So who is with me? You guys feel me there? Are you with me? But you guys have to proclaim this yourself. You have to proclaim this. So who is ready to no longer allow their inner critic to win, or their inner skinny bee, or whatever you want to call this person, and take back their damn power? Say, I'm ready in the comments. If you are ready, say, I'm ready in the comments. Because you have to be the one to take back that power. I can't do it for you. Your friends can't do it for you. Your partner can't do it for you. Your kids. You have to be the one to step into that power, Okay, so if you're ready and if you feel me, say I'm ready. Say I'm ready. We are absolutely ready. Yes, we are. Way to own it, girlfriend. Way to own it. So, since you're ready, what do we do now? What's the next step? Well, here's the thing that you need to know. When we are not clinging to the past, when we're not holding on to that crap, when we are ready and we step into our own power, the best part is you can learn so much from your past experiences. So when you don't play the victim anymore and you step into that, you can really see it from an outside perspective and see why this sort of happened to sort of leverage you to get to that next step into your life of where you actually want to be. Now, I will say, as a full disclosure, I can absolutely attest that working through your past is going to look different for everyone. How I choose to do that is going to look extremely different from how you choose to do that, right? And also I will say here, like, this is gonna take time. So many of the women I work with, they think that healing is just like this linear pattern and they just go up, 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 up till they get where they wanna go. The truth of the matter is this healing journey is completely circular. Like, it's just constantly moving and grooving and bending and flowing in so many different directions. So if you do want to show up in this way, you have to know that it's going to look different for everyone. You have to really find what works for you, and it's going to take a long time, depending, how willing you are to really go there. It's going to take patience, and sometimes it's even going to take professional help, which is totally okay. I go see a counselor, and I've done a lot of personal work on myself, but I just feel like that's just part of ourselves that we need support with, and that we deserve to get that level of support. So I totally recommend working with a very diverse team, whether you're working with a doctor and you're working with a naturopath and you're working with a psychologist and you're working with a coach. Like, really diversify your path here, because everyone's going to have something to bring to the table. I don't think that we should cling on to one person for one thing, okay? So make sure that you allow yourself to have that time, that patience, and that professional help, okay? Very, very, very important. I also want to say this. I know that no matter what your past looks like, I know for sure, no matter what your past looks like, by letting go of it and showing up to work through that pain, even though it's going to be extremely challenging at times, it is absolutely imperative for your self-love journey. It's absolutely imperative for your self-love journey, because when we shift our fixation from our past to our present, when we get rid of it from the past and we move it to the present, not only do we get to experience a newfound freedom, but we also get to live a better, more fulfilling life. So what does this mean? What does this mean? It means that we're not clinging to our past, because we're learning from it, like I said, right? Look at my business with Turn Up the Love, for example. So instead of living in this torturous past where I was bullied and victimized and I had so much self-criticism going on, I used that to put me and my body first and my journey first. And now me and my body live to tell about it, right? And we help others to work through it. And there's nothing more liberating than that. There's nothing more liberating than that, when you can really use that as your leverage to move your life forward. So many people that show up in the world, so many people who are coaches or they're motivational speakers, or they're doing these great things in the world. Oftentimes they've come from a place of pain. They've come from a place of discomfort, right? It's through these experiences that we can truly leverage ourselves to support and help others. And oftentimes I believe that's why we go through these pain and these challenges, is so that we can learn and help others up and bring them to that level as well, right? So this is exactly my hope for you. My hope is that you see yourself as perfectly imperfect, someone that is so incredibly worthy of love and respect, and you give yourself back that power to be in your present self, and you help transform your thoughts forward. You help you transform your pain and your thoughts towards yourself to be of loving vibration, okay? And when you do this and you show up to do the work, you're going to learn how to cope in ways that are more fulfilling than food could ever be, more fulfilling than buying all the perfect designer handbags could ever be, more fulfilling than driving that expensive car, more fulfilling than working out every day to get the perfect body, okay? Because you're gonna really know what it is that you need when you take back your power, okay? And you're not gonna have to carry this burden around with you. You feel me? Mama needs some water. I just went on a tangent there. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super grateful for you guys who are joining me here live. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here and for showing up and for realizing that you deserve a better, more fulfilling future in life and that you're not going to allow your past to hold you back anymore. Thank you for that, because people will be thanking you profoundly. Like the amount of messages that I get from people who say, like, Sarah, thank you so much for the way that you show up in the world. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you so much for changing my life. I'm just like, thank you. Thank you for showing up. So like I said, I'm so incredibly humbled that I get to do this work. And I thank my past pain and experiences for that. And I want the exact same thing for you guys too. So if you're living in fear and you're being paralyzed by fear, know that that's not where you need to stay, okay? You absolutely don't need to stay there at all. So let's just sum up what we talked about today, because I know we had some like tech issues today, and I know I kind of went on a rampage just there. So just to sum everything up, when you make peace with your past, you are finally going to be able to let go of what people expected of you. You're going to be able to let go of past mistakes and failures. And you're going to know that you are absolutely worthy and deserving of nothing but the absolute best, regardless of what you did in your past. I don't care what you did. You are absolutely worthy of living a better life, okay? No one needs to hold on to that shit. Nobody, okay? And by letting go of hating yourself and judging your every move, that's going to bring you closer to love. We can't hate our way to love, right? So what do you guys say? If you're ready to take back your power and make peace with your past, then you're going to want to join me for today's challenge activity inside of the Back to Love Challenge. So to get in on all the action, like I said, you have to come and join me inside of the private Facebook group, the Back to Love Challenge private Facebook group, and you can gain access to that by signing up for the challenge by hitting the link in my bio on Instagram or hitting the link up above and joining there. So I'm going to be moving my way over to the Back to Love Challenge now and doing a Q&A there and answering any questions on anything that you guys might have challenges with in regards to letting go of your past and moving forward towards cultivating a more loving future. So if you want to get in on the live conversation, or you have any questions or comments at all that you want to ask me about this experience, please let me know. I'll be jumping in over there, and we're going to be talking all about it. You'll also be able to work through your workbook for this week, and we'll dive into that also, okay? But thank you guys for being here and for joining me, for sticking with me through all the tech issues. I so appreciate you, and I can't wait for next week for week 4. Next week in week 4, we're talking all about comparisonitis. So be ready, because we all know what's happening, especially in this digital world. So if that sounds like something that you could really use support with, either sign up for the challenge or catch me next week for the live workshop. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye for now.